Let me ask you something personal, something real. Are you tired of watching others succeed while you stay stuck in the same place month after month, year after year? You've got the vision, you've got the hunger, you even have the talent, but you keep falling short. Why? Because talent without consistency is wasted. Desire without discipline is useless. Dreams without habits are just wishes. If you're serious about changing your life, if you want more out of yourself, your time, your future, it starts here. It starts now. And it starts with your daily habits. Let's ground this in timeless truth. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. The ultra-successful don't do random acts of greatness. They live in rhythm. They've built rituals. They've built systems that operate even when motivation is gone. And the best part, you can too. The power of daily choices. Success isn't found in a single moment. It's not that one big deal, that one lucky break, that one viral video. Success lives in the quiet hours. In the moment you wake up and choose purpose instead of the snooze button. In the decision to read a page instead of scrolling endlessly. In the habit of showing up on time with effort, even when no one is clapping. Daily habits are the invisible architecture of every high achiever's life. You don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to figure it all out on your own. Because today I'm going to walk you through the exact habits the ultra-successful practice not occasionally but relentlessly. Let's get into it. 1. They wake up with a mission lows an hour in the morning, and you will spend all day looking for it. Richard Waitley, the ultra-successful, don't just wake up, they rise with the race. They don't start their day scrolling through social media. They don't wake up reacting to alarms, emails, or chaos. No. They wake up on purpose, for a purpose. Why? Because how you start your day sets the tone for how you live your life. Think of your morning like the first domino in a long chain of events. If that first domino is wobbly late start, no direction, scattered thoughts, then the whole day topples out of control. But when the first domino is strong, when you wake up with clarity, intention, and energy, you start a ripple of power that flows through your entire day. The ultra-successful create a morning ritual, not just a morning routine. There's a difference. A routine is just a set of actions. A ritual is a sacred commitment to yourself. Here's what that looks like for many of them: silence or meditation before the noise of the world floods in. They sit with their own thoughts. They center themselves. Movement. A quick jog, yoga, or stretch to activate the body. This isn't about bodybuilding, it's about energy. Gratitude. They write down 3 things they're thankful for. Why? Because a grateful mind attracts more to be grateful for. Goal review. They take 1 minute to glance at their goals. They reconnect with the why behind their grind. No phone for the first 30 to 60 minutes. Because the world's urgency should never outrank your own clarity. Even if they're busy, especially when they're busy, they protect this time. One of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself each morning is this: who do I need to become today to move closer to the life I want? You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. You don't need an hour-long routine. But you do need a reason to rise. Because people with purpose don't just survive the day, they command it. 2. They guard their energy. Let's make this clear. Ultra-successful people don't just manage time, they manage their energy like gold. Because you can have all the time in the world, but if you're mentally drained, emotionally scattered, or physically exhausted, you're not showing up at 100%. That's why they don't just ask, what do I have to do today? They ask, where's my energy going and is it worth it? Here's how they protect it. A. Eliminate energy leaks. What's an energy leak? It's anything that slowly drains you without you realizing it. Negative people who always complain but never grow. Useless scrolling that leaves you feeling more empty than before. Overcommitting to things you don't believe in. Gossip, drama, distractions. The ultra-successful are kind, but they're not available to everyone. They understand that every yes to someone else is a no to their mission, so they say no often, clearly, and without guilt. B. They protect their mental space. They're intentional about what they consume. They don't start their day with fear-based news. They don't feed their minds with negativity. They feed themselves truth, growth, and inspiration because that shapes their focus. They don't wait to feel good to act, they act in ways that keep them feeling good. C. They recharge intentionally. You'll often hear this lie in hustle culture: rest is for the weak. But the ultra-successful know the opposite is true. They schedule recovery like they schedule meetings. Quiet time, nature, family dinners without phones. A good book instead of one more hour on email. Because they're not machines, they're humans. And humans operate best with cycles of high focus and deep rest. Energy is not unlimited, but it is renewable when you protect it. So let me ask you, where are you leaking energy? Who or what is draining you? And what are you doing daily to recharge? The ultra-successful don't just guard their calendars. They guard their soul. 3, they master their time. Don't say you don't have enough time. You have the same number of hours in a day as Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, and Leonardo da Vinci. Time is life. And the ultra-successful treat it that way. They understand that every minute is a seed. And how you spend it determines what grows or dies in your future. Here's the secret. It's not about being busy. It's about being effective. A, they time block. They don't hope to find time for what matters, they schedule it. You'll see their calendars filled with blocks for deep work time meetings with boundaries. Breaks that are protected. Creative thinking time. They know that what gets scheduled gets done. And what stays someday never happens. If it matters, put it on the calendar. B, they live by priorities, not pressure. Most people live in reaction mode. They jump from one urgency to the next. They spend the whole day putting out fires, most of which weren't even theirs to begin with. The ultra-successful don't operate that way. They ask every morning, what are the top 3 things that, if completed today, will move my life or business forward? Then they do those things first. Before emails, before calls, before the noise. Because the day will always try to pull you off course. But the ultra-successful anchor themselves to priorities, not distractions. C, they say no strategically. They say no to things that don't align. They say no to things that clutter. They even say no to good things so they can say yes to the best. They've learned this truth the hard way. If everything is important, then nothing really is. Saying no isn't rude. It's wise. It's how you protect time for the work that actually changes your life. D, they reflect and adjust. At the end of the day or week, they review, where did I waste time? What drained me more than it should have? What can I automate, delegate, or eliminate? They're not rigid. They're refining constantly. 4, they learn every day. The more you learn, the more you earn. Warren Buffett, let me ask you something. What are you feeding your mind every day? They choose to learn intentionally every single day. And no, I'm not just talking about formal education. I'm talking about the kind of learning that builds self-awareness, sharpens your thinking, and keeps you evolving no matter your age, status, or success. They understand that growth isn't an event. It's a daily discipline. Let's break it down. A, they read. Even when they're busy. Most people say, I don't have time to read. But the ultra-successful say, I don't have time not to read. They make time to feed their minds. Because one idea, one insight, one shift in thinking can completely change the direction of their life or business. Even 10 pages a day, even 15 minutes, it adds up. Because books are time machines. You get decades of wisdom in a few hours. You get to sit with the thoughts of the greatest minds in history on demand. That's not a small thing. That's power. B, they learn from people smarter than them. They don't try to be the smartest person in every room. They intentionally put themselves in rooms where they're the student. They ask questions. They hire mentors. They listen more than they talk. They understand that one conversation with the right person can save them years of struggle. And even if they can't access mentors in person, they find them in books, podcasts, online courses, interviews. Because in today's world, information is everywhere. You just have to care enough to reach for it. C, they learn from their own mistakes. Listen carefully, it's not failure that defines your life. It's how fast you learn from it. Ultra-successful people fail all the time. But they don't stay down. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They ask, what is this teaching me? Where did I go wrong? How do I grow from this? Every experience becomes a teacher. Even heartbreak, even rejection, even the seasons where nothing makes sense, that's real learning. And it doesn't stop once they've made it. In fact, the more successful they get, the more urgently they learn because the stakes are higher and the margin for error is smaller. They're lifelong students. Because they know this truth: if you stop learning, you start dying. So if you want to change your life, feed your mind every single day. 5. They build systems, not depend on motivation. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. James Clear, let's be honest, motivation is overrated. It's unpredictable. It fades. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world. And some days you don't even want to get out of bed. That's the truth. But here's the difference. The ultra-successful don't rely on how they feel to decide how they act. They rely on systems. Let's talk about what that means. A, automate discipline. Think of it like this. Imagine a train on a set of tracks. That train doesn't have to feel inspired to move forward. It just follows the track that's already laid down. That's what systems do. They give you a clear path so that when motivation disappears, momentum keeps going. For example, instead of deciding every day what to do at the gym, they follow a structured workout plan. Instead of wondering what to eat, they prep healthy meals in advance. Instead of waking up and reacting, they pre-plan their mornings with routines that run on autopilot. These systems take the emotion out of the equation. No debate. No willpower drain. Just execution. Because success isn't about doing big things occasionally. It's about doing the right things consistently. B, they create environments that support success. Here's something most people overlook. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Ultra-successful people design their surroundings to make good decisions easy and bad decisions hard. If they want to read more, they leave books on the desk, not their phone. If they want to eat clean, they don't bring junk food into the house. If they want to focus, they turn off notifications, block distractions, and guard their space. They don't fight temptation. They remove it. They build systems around their weaknesses, not just their strengths. Because they're not trying to be superheroes, they're trying to be smart. C, they track and measure. Systems only work if you know what's working. That's why they track progress. Not obsessively, but intentionally. A simple habit tracker. A weekly review. A look at how they spent their time or money or focus. Why? Because what you don't measure, you can't improve. And what you ignore will quietly ruin you. They don't guess their way through growth. They systemize it. D, they adjust, not abandon. Now listen, systems aren't about being perfect. You will have off days. You'll fall short. You'll miss the mark. That's part of being human. But ultra-successful people don't quit their systems when they slip. They get back on track faster. They forgive themselves. They learn. They adjust the system. Then they keep going. Because they know this: discipline without systems will burn you out. Motivation without systems will betray you, but systems, they carry you when you're tired. Oh, now you know they wake up with a mission. They guard their energy. They master their time. They learn every day. And they build smart, reliable systems that keep them moving no matter how they feel. But there's one more thing that separates the ultra-successful from the average. They're not just driven by achievement. They're grounded in something deeper. They connect their work to purpose. 6, they practice relentless discipline. Let's talk about discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't want to. It's not sexy. It's not fun. But it's where greatness is born. The ultra-successful are masters of self-control. They've trained themselves to take action regardless of mood. They understand that success lives in repetition, that boredom is part of mastery, that comfort is the enemy of greatness. Every time they do the hard thing, they're making a deposit into their future. And over time, those deposits turn into wealth, impact, and freedom. 7, they reflect daily before they close the day. Ultra-successful people don't just collapse and scroll. They reflect. They ask themselves, what did I do well today? Where did I waste time or energy? What can I do better tomorrow? Reflection isn't weakness, it's alignment. It keeps them aware. It keeps them sharp. It keeps them growing. They write down wins. They track progress. And they go to bed with clarity, not chaos. 8, they visualize the future. Ultra-successful people don't just hope things work out. They see their success clearly. They use visualization not as fantasy, but as focus. Every morning, every night, they imagine the life they're building, the person they're becoming, the impact they're going to make. Because what you see internally shapes what you pursue externally. The mind leads. The body follows. 9. They keep the right people close. You can have the best habits in the world, but if you're surrounded by doubt, negativity, or laziness, it will drag you down. Ultra successful people choose their circle with care. They ask, does this person challenge me to grow? Do they lift my standards? Do they believe in my vision? If not, they create distance. Because energy is contagious. And so is mediocrity. You don't rise alone. You rise with the right people. 10. They stay grateful even when it's hard. Finally, the ultra successful practice gratitude every day. Not just when life is good, but especially when it's hard. Because gratitude keeps your heart open. It keeps your ego in check. And it reminds you of how far you've come. They know that gratitude attracts more to be grateful for. Now, maybe you're thinking, I want to do all this, but it feels overwhelming. Let me tell you something powerful. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to flip your life upside down. You just need to start with one. Choose one habit from today. Make it your mission for the next 30 days. Show up for it every day, whether you feel like it or not. Because one new habit will shift your identity. And once your identity shifts, everything changes. You're not stuck. You're not behind. You're not too late. You are one decision away from building a routine that builds you. Remember this, greatness doesn't arrive. It's built. Confidence isn't gifted. It's earned. Success isn't found. It's created daily. So wake up tomorrow, not just hoping, but building. Your future is counting on your habits. Now go. Be the architect of your life.